is Steven as a Keyblade Fast Triple Threes. In this video, I have lots of things to talk about as there are all sorts of things when you get the different endings, and also there was the achievements. That way you can able to do all sorts of stuff with it. Well, there is a lot that I don't even know. I mean, I remember in the previous video that just a normal way to doing it to finish this night, I finally get it that I actually got the bad ending of this, because the one reason is that I'm supposed to bring them all animatronics in my pizzeria for it. That explains it on all. But I mean, I remember this is the first time I've ever played this before. I mean, don't judge me why. I mean, when I first played it, I was literally been confused, and there was just no idea how I'm supposed to deal with it. I mean, it just took forever to understand what am I supposed to do with exactly. It was just weird also. And also, it's clearly, I can't even not do what all sorts of things. I was like confused, like I'm not sure if it's an actual real game or not for it. But I guess that's how it is to it. I mean, remember back in the past, I've been playing it, I don't know, it's been like a week. Yeah, ever since it's been released, I was literally being confused at all. Sheesh. Yeah, guys, so I've been taking a long time for playing this because there are all sorts of all different endings, and you can get those by getting a certificate. But anyway, well, there are some multiple ways to get it, but there is 6. I heard there are 6 certificates to earn it as such. I mean, it's take a lot to doing for it, but I'm pretty sure for it. I've done this for like in the past, like, I don't know, week, right after the last video for it. So right now for this video, I'm going to explain you guys how you get the certificate and the tips, strategies, and what sorts of stuff I want to know about. But if you know anything, all sorts of stuff, well, just let me know for it. If it makes it very slow about what's some sort of stuff, like I will give you instructions, you can simply just pause it so you can do some explaining to do for a bit. But it's up to you. I cannot stop right now. So anyway, let's get started. Bankruptcy. So the bankruptcy is the easiest way to earn the certificate and the endings for it. But what you're gonna need to do when you have from the beginning, you have a little bit amount of money for it. Spend as much as you can, and maybe to get a little bit of risk, there might be a slight chance you might get some lawsuits for it. But it might depend for it. And once you get some lawsuits, and however, if you don't have a little bit of money for it, and you have no choice to spend them all, you lose everything, which means you got no money left, and it will lead to the different endings, such as they call the bankruptcy ending. They'll give you a certificate, which is you might earn some. However, there is one thing you did not mention. Is when you complete to get the bankruptcy certificate, it closes game by itself. But once you come back up, it went straight back to the beginning with the 8-bit mini game, which is it's really a strange thing to do. Like, we had to play things again for it. But the good thing is the certificate you just still got is still there, so you got nothing to worry about. You thought it was all gone completely, but it's still there, and everything's a-okay for it. So that's pretty much how it is to it.
You gave it your best shot. You went all in. You put all your eggs into one basket and did the unthinkable. You ran out of cash. While we encourage entrepreneurs to follow their dreams, we also recognize a lost cause when we see one. There are no do-overs, and we trust that you know your way out. But before you go, take this certificate of bankruptcy. Now do everyone a favor and get lost.
And now, on for the next one. Mediocrity. Now, the mediocrity is one of those easiest way to get that certificate. What you really need to do not spend on anything in your catalog. That's the one thing to do. right from the beginning, you earned some money, about like $100 for it. What you have to do is just simply make it through the night for it, so that way you make the earned certificate for the mediocrity for it. But there is other problems that I don't get the dealing with. If you try and play on Savage, do not salvage it, because you earn some more money into it. And also, if you're planning to try to take the sponsorship offering, that is a count that you try to earn some more money to it, which means you won't be able to get the mediocrity. That's the only thing you could do. You could not buy anything in the store, you could not get salvage from the animatronics, and you cannot accept any sponsorship. That's the one thing you could do. You just simply just straight to the night, and once you complete it to the end of it, you might be able to get the mediocre one. However, there's one thing that I don't really get is about this. When going through the night, one of the animatronics has already been here, because when he doing a test, it's like it's easiest way to doing it, which is I don't even get it. Like, why is it still there even though I just throw them out in the alley for it? It doesn't make any sense for it. So I really think it might be best, it might do some like strategies by simply just doing the audio noises in the vent, looking at it, so that way make sure that they won't come and peer for it. And also turn up the fan as soon as possible, because that way it makes it some heat that might be possible, and mostly you can hear some noises for it. But I don't know, that happens to me all the time, that when I do some tests, it's the easiest way to doing it. But one of the animatronics, it's already here. Yeah, it's already been here. That it literally I just already done them out for it. So that's all there is to it. You cannot buy anything from the store. You cannot salvage from the animatronics. Do not accept any sponsorship. This is a way how you get the mediocre one. I would say this is one of the easiest way to doing it. I mean, it's not that much, I would say. I mean, it will take forever to try to make it through the night for it. And also, there might be a little bit of risk might be happen to doing it this night. I mean, when the customer's having a complaint for it, you have to buy something for it. I mean, you have to fight it. You have no choice, you have to fight it, right? Otherwise, you won't have to keep doing the bankruptcy again. Do not do the same thing on the bankruptcy one for it. It's not really good basically one.
Congratulations! You've completed a full week on the job, and you've done it in such a lackluster way that no one is proud or disappointed. It's a fine line to walk, but you did it, completing your job with such an efficient level of laziness that we're surprised you're able to dress yourself in the morning. While such a minimalist work ethic is rare, it doesn't mean that we want you back. In fact, it means you should look for employment elsewhere. But before you go, take this certificate of mediocrity. You should be proud. You stood on 2 feet and convinced someone that you could do something, when in fact you couldn't. Now get out.
So that's how let's do it. And now, proceed on to the next one. Blacklisted. Now the blacklist is one of the hardest and the longest to achieve it from the certificate for it. What you need to do is like, well, that's a lot of explaining to do. You need to get like a higher risk and try and get them the new losses for it. Otherwise, it might be easy to know how many times you're doing it for it. But I'm not sure how you're gonna get those risks, that lots of it, I was said, and then try and get some of the losses for it. But one thing for sure, I know one thing from the beginning, is somehow you need to get some more fast rating points, so that way you have to get more bonuses trying to get some more money for it. It's about like $100 for it, for each for it. Because, well, that way you have to buy as many as you can, and then find something that might be interesting to trying to get some more points for it. But to me, I've been looking up around on the internet to see what they've been doing. What I really recommended is that you have to spend as many money as you can, and then try and get a new catalog for it. But if you don't have enough money for it, then you have no choice. You either use a sponsorship offer just one, so that way you can earn some money a little bit faster. And then once you do open up the second catalog that I really don't know, so the only thing you can do, you have to get the motorist racetrack I think that's what it is. So that way, because this is the only way to earn some more fast rating points for it, is much faster as possible. Because I did it one time. It's only take about like over 2,000 points, and that way it's might be easier to make things faster for it. And then once I have enough money for it, and I need to spend something when I need the most of it, especially when I need to buy some of these animatronics and the stage, all sorts of stuff like the arcade stuff. But there is other thing you need to know of is the risk numbers. There's the things you need to know, because the risk numbers is the easiest way to get them some losses for it. But if you find anything high risk for it, so that's what you need to know. And also, there's one thing I did not mention. Because of markdown price, there is one thing, when the price is getting lower, there is a higher risk you can have to do it. What you all need to do, if you see something that is very important, such as mark price down with a higher risk, you need to buy it, because that's very important to try and get so many risks as possible you can and get some losses for it. And if you're trying to plan on doing some savage things, I don't think it's not being possible, because I know one thing of how the animatronics got here very, very quick. It's because the number of bricks they have. So it must be happening. They're gone really aggressive. I think that's how it is to it for it. So when the higher the risk, the higher the aggressive the animatronic is going to do. So it's not gonna be easy when you're trying to do it from the beginning. It's not gonna be easy for it, but and also when you get by as much as you can, then you have to do some of the third catalog. If I do not know exactly, what you need to do, you have to buy a basketball hoop. I think that's the honest way to get some more points for it, because when you're trying to shoot hoops about 20, you get to earn some jackpot about 5,000. So that makes the total amount like 5,500 or 5,500. That way, there's a fast rating points getting higher, the more money you can earn from these bonuses. So that's the easy way to doing it. And then keep going as possible you can. If you're feeling lucky, it's all up to you, but I'm just saying it's my opinion, because I was doing very, very hard to earn some money into it. I mean, it's really been so working hard for all this nonsense that I couldn't know what am I supposed to do for it. So then, now once you do that, the fourth catalog, which is the rare auction store, the one thing you can do is the higher risk you can get is Lefty. Lefty is the one who have the higher risk, which is the cheapest way to do it. Maybe an easy way to buy it, then check something that's very interesting with a higher risk for it. It's all up to you for doing so. And then once you're all got completed, then make sure make do the knife for it. Just do the same thing as before, like simply do the audio noise, and then check the vents and do the testings. And then once it's completed, doing the text again, and then turn on the fan as soon as possible. Just same the strategy as you did before. And also, if you plan to do the savage things, it's not going to happen, because some of those already left already, because the higher risk means you're going to aggressive really, really harder. So that's how pretty much it is to it. And also, hopefully, if you have enough lawsuits, make sure you have to fight with the lawsuits. That's the only way you can do it with getting the blacklist endings for it. But however, it's not about how many new losses for it. It's a number of risk. There's an estimate of number of risk you need the most. You need to estimate about 50 or over, because that's the only way to get them blacklist endings for it. So that way, it'll take forever and ever to make it as much. But it's all up to you. You make sure find something that's a very high risk enough, and if something marks down the price with a higher risk, you need to buy it whatever pleases you most. And then if it can't make money the most, I simply highly recommend it. You're trying to do something like the achievement badge by simply buying those animatronics and place it from the main stage and the secondary stage if you have enough money for it. So that way you earn some more badge to it. And one thing for sure about the other animatronic, which is the mid-sized one, is the one that came only from the rare auction store, which is this very expensive one. But if you have enough money, you just buy it, that earns some more bonuses as well as the higher as it goes. And then for the rock stars, you can buy as well. If you have enough money, it's all up to you. But especially if you got the lefty here, which is to count as the rock stars. So like, I mean, they look like his name. I mean, come on. And then you get the higher enough money, but getting this as much as you can for it. So it's my opinion. It's just I highly recommend it for it. So make sure you have 50 or more risk points and get some losses but each days, so that way you can keep fighting over it. I hope that might be helpful. If it's not, then you have to start all over again, because it happened to me all the time, because I completed one thing is it really screws me off. I really say I apologize for it, but I'll explain everything what happened, but I rather not. But it's long story short for it, I cannot not tell for it. I mean, I ruined the spoilers, but I don't want to talk about it. But anyways, then now go to the next one.
Congratulations! By some miracle, you've completed a full week on the job. Here at Fazbear Entertainment, we encourage a healthy spirit of entrepreneurship, which sometimes means taking risks. But you took it a step further. You were reckless and borderline criminally negligent in almost every decision that you made. So much so that you've been deemed a liability hazard, even for us. We'll mail you your final paycheck, minus the costs of wiping the security footage clean and erasing all trace of your employment from our files. But don't feel like you're leaving empty-handed. Take this blacklist certificate. You'll be lucky to ever find employment in this town again. Now take care.
Insanity. Now this insanity is the easiest way to get it, but there's a lot of things you need to do is to buy something that's very important, such as go to the catalog. It's the rare auctions catalog. You have to buy the egg baby. What it is, the egg baby was actually part as a data archive, which is all sorts of information about these, what kind of project or what kind of information about these companies, and all sorts of stuff is happening for it. What you need to do, you have to buy it. I think it's about like $6,000, but it's so expensive to buy it for it. Unless if it's a marked down prices, you can do that as well. I mean, it's all up to you. Either do a normal one or do the markup price for it. But also you need to do, you have to place it in your pizzeria. In that way, so that way the egg baby will appear for it, because another tricks you might be do. While going through the night, there is some tricks you have to do from these monitors. What you have to do, you just turn off by pressing Z key, and then using the mouse, I simply hold it the button, and then when you somehow try and turn it on again, and it explains everything what happened. And so you have to listen what's he going to say.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough, the loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
Congratulations! You went somewhere you weren't supposed to go, saw something you weren't supposed to see, and prevented a tidy resolution to a messy problem. Needless to say, you're fired. But before you go, take this certificate of insanity. We're giving it to you to ensure that no one believes you and to ensure that we can promptly replace you without incident. There is a truck waiting for you outside. Take care.
And so, that's how it's to it. And now, here comes the last part. Lore's Keeper. Now, this one is not actually part of the ending of this game. What actually is you search around what kind of lore of the game. Basically, when you look at these mini games when you have purchased it and played it. What you need to do is you have to play 3 minigames as it follows by simply just purchase it from the store. There's one thing you can do. There's 3 you can find. There's one is the fruit maze. The second one is the motorist racetrack. And lastly is the security puppet. Now, this one, the last bit, the security puppet, is way expensive to buy it. It's only about like $12,000. So I think I highly recommend it if you try to save enough money for it, or maybe just trying to salvage as it could. And maybe if you do like sponsorship offer, try and make it like as high as possible. You just leave it from the beginning and just hopefully if you try and make it to the end of it. And it might be an easy way to do it. I mean, it's like a chance to earn it for it. Now, I done it in the previous video that I did the first part of the Lord of the story and the second one, which is the Brit Maze and the race contract, that I simply found out about this because the story, it makes me blow my mind. Like, I don't even get what this is all about. So, like to say, there is like highly possible chance of doing it. So I'll explain how you're gonna beat it. So in the fruit maze, you simply have to collect all the fruits as fast as you can before time limit runs out. But the worst of all is like it's a big maze that I couldn't even like remember what am I supposed to do for it. So there's one thing for sure, there was 3 power-ups for it. There's one, the magnet, the second is the speed boost, and lastly, the invisibility. Now the magnet is the easiest way because it will pull up many fruits as fast as it could, and also they can do full up of powers as well. And as for speed boost, it will try and make things faster as it could, so that way you can make it like walk slowly for it. And lastly, the invisibility one is you can go through walls for it, which means you can go whatever you wanted to. But there is one thing at these conditions is that you cannot go out of the bound for it unless because it will be game over. So that way it will screw things up for it. However, there's one problem for sure because they have time limits from the power-ups. Mostly they will have a longest one, but the other is only like a shortest second. You can't handle it to take it. So I would say trying to get the magnet first, so that way you're able to suck up the fruit, and then get the lightning bolt, which is a speed boost, and then find invisibility, so that way you can walk around fast as you could for it. And once you completed the first one, but if you want to plan to play it again, it starts to change. It's not just the background music, and mostly all the stuff is different. You can see there was like a pet corpses, I think. It looks like I have no legs for it. And most of the items are kind of really glitchy as soon as well. But you have to keep collecting as possibly can. Just same thing what you did for the first part for it. But I'm not sure how. But it won't go away forever for it. And now once you did the second part, if you plan to do the third part, lots been terrible happening to see. Now everything starts to change. 3 things, such as the pet corpses. There is a flower, and there's some strange white box. That was really strange that I really don't know what this is all about exactly. What part of the story and FNAF that I don't really get. I mean, it must be from the novel, or that wasn't a part of it planned for the movie. I'm not sure. But when I'm trying to get the power-ups, it won't let me get into it. Not even the speed boost and the magnet, because it's stuck like this forever for it. However, when I'm trying to get like 10 seconds short, and it's starting with the strange noises, which is some kind of like a car honking noise for it. So I must be guessing this must be some kind of an accident that happened. So it must be happened for it. And then once you go time up, the background changes. The little girl you see, and there was the spring bunny suits with it. I'm pretty sure it must be purple guy for it. And then he sings some weird word that I'm able to get. So he's saying like he's not there, but he's not dead. That he is over here. Now follow me. That's the last word I think about. So my guessing is that her pet is not actually dead. Maybe they're trying to use the pet for one reason for sure. Because I heard a honking noise, so this must be some kind of accident for it. I do not know, but there's a lot to be explained. Can I get for it? So next one is the motorist racetrack. I did this for like almost from the very beginning. What you simply need to do is just go away as you can, but the secret is there was some hole there was from the bottom for it. What you had to do, make it time it right. But my lucky choice is you can simply get wrecked from those cars, so that way it'll slow down for a bit, so that way you can catch up for it. The next thing happens, the strange things happen when you like driving through the roads and just do casual ways to it. And then next thing you know, they went to the house when you like get to the far end for downport. And now he's trying to make a strange argument between them. It's like the door's been shut. It's like now the strange thing's happening for it. And now they're trying to go outside, but then one person got out for it. And then one strange thing to know about the footprints, he somehow ran away from it. And the other footprints that did not occur, which is it looks like the animatronics. So I get the feeling it must be in like a spring lock suit, cause I'm not sure for it. And then he's like ran out to that place again. That place he mentioned, I think he's talking about the pizzeria. I think that's what it is to it, but it's not explained to do because I'm not sure there was a yellow guy or orange guy, because that's not being a part of the story. That makes no sense at all. So that's pretty much the second part for it. Now lastly is the one thing you can do is a security puppet. The security puppet is so expensive to buy, it's really hard to buy it. I'm not sure how you're gonna be able to do it. So it's really due about like $12,000 for it. However, if you're trying to get the markdown prices in lower, it's up to you as well. Same thing happened for it. Then now you simply place it, then you have to play some games for it. If someone to give you like find the children that have the green one, but one thing for sure that I couldn't find the green one. So you had to keep playing it again. I think about like 3 times or 4 times. It might depend on it. And then actually how the strange cutscenes happen for it. So I'm not sure what it is. So I'll let you show you guys that item we didn't get for it. So that's how you get the Lord's Keeper certificate, and that's all there is to it. Well guys, that's pretty much it is to it. I wanted to say I apologize. It was like a long video. I would say so myself. I mean, there's lots of instructions how you get to do it. Like I said, if you can do it right, then you can pause it whatever you want to. So that's all it is to it. I got earned some like 5 certificates as usual. Is the bankruptcy, the mediocrity, blacklisted, and the insanity, and Lord's Keeper. The one thing for sure, I need to get to the good ending, which is I need to get all the savages to get in here. There might be a reason how you're gonna bring all the animatronics in the pizzeria, so everything to get to the good ending for it. And also, I forgot to mention, if you get the Lord's Keeper now, we have this certificate. There is a secret ending if you're doing so for it. So there's still one question I want to know about. It is all sorts of mini games and the blueprints and show about based on the Lord's Keeper and the Ascendancy. One thing for sure, blueprints is showing us about these destructions for it. The first part is the scooping room. It looks like it's the scooper. It's not actually with the two O's, it's actually with the U. So remember the scooper, the one that happened in the sister location, they did like a scoop uplift on his bodies and pull them out. They tell us to it. So it might be for this purpose to make the trying to pull them out, but it's for the inside. I think that's how it is to it. I am not sure because he knows something from those blueprints for it, and also about the details that I'm not sure for it, and also that we got information about Lefty's blueprints because it's something to do about the attracting the music. Kind of reminds me about the puppet because the puppet well actually confirms that it was inside of Lefty. How will I know? Well, a lot of people have been theorizing that there is a kind of relevance from in the minigame from the security puppet because there's something to do about this child that been left outside for it. It's kind of same thing on FNAF 2, but when it's a child been outside it all this time, it was killed by the purple guy, and next thing you know, the puppet jump scare for it. So this must be one of the person that have been possessed from the puppet, so it might explains everything for it. And also about these other two mini games that didn't occur, about the little girl with the spring bodysuits guy in it, and the one with the orange guy that have the issues with the family members. But I'm not sure what's involved with the story and such, but there are lots of secrets for it. So anyway guys, that's pretty much it for Five Nights at Freddy's 6. I hope it will help with all the certificate if you plan to do stuff for it. And also I will plan to work on tomorrow that I'll try and get to the good ending, and hopefully if I get to the secret endings it will show you all what it is to it. But it's all up to you for it. But it's really helpful, but most people have done it before, but I'm not sure this maybe get used to it, but hopefully the instructions might be helpful for it. I don't know, it's all up to you. You can check on whatever you wanted to. I mean, I'm not trying to hold you down for a bit. I mean, I can't do everything for myself anyways. So anyway guys, that's pretty much it for Five Nights at Freddy's 6. I hope you like this. If you like to, just hit the like button to light them up. If you want to see my videos or check out the other videos, go subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.